The official name is Heavy Artistry, right? Which I do business as Heavy. And so I guess to differentiate the two, like Heavy Artistry is becoming like a community of people with various types of artistry who understand that their first identity or their primary identity is the heavy part, you know what I'm saying? So like the whole idea of Heavy Artistry was to put your identity before what it is that you do. It was like a year's, I guess, prayer almost, like a year of back and forth of like, okay, well I think what he's telling me is to move towards some type of brand, but like I need a name, and so like going between names and trying to figure out what name felt right for me. And I realized if I had to summarize the gospel in a sentence, that's how I would say it. There's an existing hope because unconditional love gives you everything that you need. So Heavy, really, the whole hope exists, agape validates you, came in that moment. I remember signing up for another internship on campus with College Hill, but I was an athlete, so they couldn't pay me. So I was like, all right, well, maybe we can just barter services. Like, I'll come intern, and then all I ask is to be able to put out like something at the end of this. And so I put out 30 sweatshirts. And anybody who knows me, like I love like giving stuff away. So in my head, I was just gonna give it to my 30 closest family members and friends. A lot of my friends and peers were athletes, and they was like, yo, where do we get a sweatshirt? Like, where do we go to buy it? How do we get one? And then that's when the orders started coming in. I remember ordering my summer gear super late. Like, I think I ordered it in August. So I was stressing like probably a week. Like, yo, what am I gonna do? Like, I just spent all this money. I don't know if it's gonna sell. So I remember after practice one day, just calling my mom. She's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And she's like, the Lord told me to tell you that you need to do whatever he's asking you. What that meant to me in that moment was, I feel like the Lord was saying, hey, just give it all away. Like the $800 of merch that you just got, just give it all away. And my flesh was wrestling with like, yo, I think I'm hearing things, right? $800 college student, like I don't think that that's a wise decision. And then she proceeds to say, and once you do it, it's gonna change the trajectory of your life. Jordan had been inviting me to Resonate. They had this thing called Thrive on campus in like the amphitheater. Long story short, there's this guy on stage, right? This magician on stage, and he's like, we're gonna give prize to, whoever comes in first place for this little game that we're playing. And he comes off stage and he's like, oh, we forgot the prize for the winners. And so I'm sitting there, and in that moment, I just felt like this is the moment where you're supposed to get this stuff away. And so I do something I'm not comfortable with, nor is regular to me, but I grabbed this stranger at the time by the arm, like, hey man. And he's looking at me like, what's up? And I'm like, I got some merch in the car if you want to give that away to the winners. And he's like, what? You sure? And I'm like, yeah. And so he's like, all right, yeah, sure, bring the shirts up. So I remember, I think Riggin, Jordan, Josh helped me go get the boxes, bring the boxes back to the thing, and I just hand them all out to the winners. And then the whole event ends, and after the event, I gave more shirts away to the leaders. I'm still learning about this brand, right? I'm still learning about what this thing means. So for me, it's more than just a brand. Like, I think people call it a brand, but for me, it's just like, no, it's my journey as far like my relationship with God. This is what sums it up. Like Him walking me day to day and showing me where my hope lies. And I'd be lying if I said there's days where I don't struggle with validation. Like maybe when you're constantly creating, you kind of want people to be like, oh, that was good, you know? That's me right there. That's my dad when he was a kid. When I say be yourself, in order to do that, you have to know who God is. Like, He has to tell you who you are, because He created you, so He knows you better than you know you. And I think it's quite simple what God's will for our life is to glorify Him, right? And the best way we could do that is to be who He made us to be.